All right, welcome to round 7.
Welcome.
Snetterton. Gonna be an interesting race. This is definitely shaped up to be an interesting season for SRA. It's definitely been a solid one, people coming up in the rankings, but this is the second to last round, and I think it's gonna be an exciting one for sure. So my name's Kyle. For those of you who haven't joined in the stream before, we're joined with my man Dahi, and we got Jess on cameras.
Hello. We got our pro drivers out on the qualifying right now, setting in their maker laps. So while they do that, Dahi, do you want to take us through an overview of a lap around Snetterton?
Sure, I'll do my best. All right, so I'm not particularly fast around Snetterton, but I'll briefly describe the characteristics of the track. So starting from the start-finish straight, you come up to a pretty fast right-hander, leading into a tight hairpin. Afterwards, you traverse through turn 3, which is a pretty tricky left-hander, into another hairpin on turn 4. And then you have a pretty technical section of turn 5, 6, and 7, where you're trying to maintain as much speed as you can while you head off into the back straight. At the end of the back straight, there's a very tricky braking corner for turn 8 into a very treacherous sausage curve on turn 9. And after turn 10, which is just a simple lift, you come to a 180 right-hander T11 that is very difficult to get right before you head off into the start-finish straight with turn 12.
Thanks to the tour, I tell you, it's still more knowledgeable than what I do. I'd be able to say, because I know I've driven this track, but even with your guidance and me looking at the map, I don't even remember this track.
Yeah,
and
it's
I
probably
didn't even
much
show up
better
to the
to
practice
visualize
race
it.
yesterday, so it's gonna be rough tomorrow.
It was definitely pretty rough on the practice race, just hanging on to the track. It's pretty narrow for like GT3 cars, so just keeping the cars on track is a challenge.
Yeah, it feels like an oversized go-kart track when you're on this thing. And it's interesting, the hairpin left, that's kind of like that reverse off camber uphill. It's I've watched quite a few different track guides and everything on YouTube, and it's the hardest trail braking turn in ACC. So it'll be interesting to see how the pro class handles the pressure tonight.
But before we hop on board with them, any bets on who's gonna win?
That's a toughie.
I bet
I
on
would have
Tyler
my
James. Once again, second week in a row, he said before the race that he's not feeling too well, but we've seen how that's worked out, so I think he's gonna do just fine.
I think you might be talking about Doug.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, I'm staring at his name. Yes, Doug Mitchell. I'm hoping he does well.
I actually am going to put my money on Tyler James, just because not only spent some time with him this weekend at the F1 race, but also he's second in points right behind Matt Lehman, and I think he's trying to make a comeback here for the end of the season and see what he could put together. He had some really solid laps in practice before in the server, and the M4 seems to be really quick around this track.
Oh, that's what I love to hear.
Yeah, it's the McLaren is historically not too forgiving at this track, just because the curbing tends to be really unforgiving and just really bumpy out of nowhere. Just you have those kind of off strips or those soft curbing, so it's really not polite to a McLaren, and I believe that's what Mr. Matt Lehman's in.
Yeah, I believe Matt Lehman won't be joining us tonight.
Shoot.
And interestingly enough, I don't think there is a single 720S in the pro grid tonight.
Well, my foot is in my mouth after that comment, but yeah, I'm putting my money on Tyler.
I would have to say either Samuel Zuniga or Dominic Duran, who has some incredible pace around the Porsche on this track, which I think is one of the strongest cars.
Oh yeah,
Would
either
have
of
to
them are
put my
safe
vote.
bets. They are fast.
Oh, Duran just bumped Taylor Carter back into 4th. I gotta say, I mean, the Porsche is just—it's a quick car around this track, but this track is just so risky. It's very extremely difficult if you start to just jack yourself up at all. And I feel like the Porsche is just one of those cars that you gotta be on point the entire time to really nail it. The Audi
Definitely.
just turned a 147.052. So I mean, they were running 146s in practice,
Yep.
and that's impressive.
Looks like Duran just started a lap. Why don't we hop on board with him and sort of look at the track?
I love his livery. It's so flashy.
It looks like at the top of the table, there's Travis Nordstrom, who just joined the league today.
Yeah, I
Oh
don't
wow.
recognize him.
Has one of the fastest times.
Man, why do we keep getting so many fast boys? I'm feeling slow now.
Oh, to answer a question from the chat, it's not a split quali, just a single quali for the pros.
Let's take a look at Kajtejevic. He's up 6/10 on his lap right now. That would shoot him right up the order into probably P4.
The grid is, as always, very competitive for the pros.
Very tight.
Love that livery on that car. It's like a Bill Steen sponsored.
Yeah,
livery.
that's what I was thinking. I was looking. I was like, what does this blue remind me of?
He's either like driving for Ukraine or Bill Steen, one of the two. But awesome livery.
Oh, they have a new livery this race. I remember them for their vibrant nerd
Yeah,
livery,
this is
the
brand
purple
new.
and pink.
I'm glad I updated
Taylor Carter
my
up to P2.
liveries right before.
Right on top of things, Jess, as always.
It's interesting to see Max Sanchez down in 8th place in qualifying. He's Taylor Carter's teammate. Definitely interesting because I know they're normally pretty quick within the same pace, but maybe Max will surprise us at the end here. Seems to be a second back.
Yeah, if
from,
he does surprise
Taylor.
us, it'll be at the end because he's got a negative delta right now. Time's running out.
Our boy Doug back in P12. He's gonna save. He's sandbagging us like usual.
Oh yeah, he's just gonna show off during the race. He's gonna style on everybody.
Shout out to Nordstrom though. This first race, just making us all look bad with a 146 P1 in qualifying.
Yeah, who comes out of the gate swinging this hard? Relax, my dude.
Unbelievable.
Relax,
Yeah.
Travis.
Yeah. You don't even know anyone here, man.
Yeah, who you trying to impress?
He was signed up for the AM race, so I made sure to get him out to the pros
Yeah,
division.
get him out of
hell no.
here.
Hell no. Ejected. Ejectocito, cuz. That guy, if he turns a lap like that in qualifying, that's a turn 1 incident all day, courtesy of me. Just kidding.
Let's
We play
look
nice
at Matt
here.
Schwartz. 6/10, 7/10 up on his lap, about to finish it. That's gonna be huge for him. Possible
That's
P3.
impressive for the Lexus.
It's known for their straight line speed. There's not that much of it on this track. I guess there's a
And there it
decent
is,
straights.
P5 for him.
Very nice.
His teammate
Connor,
getting a yellow flag right now.
Madiak up in P2.
Yeah, he's rapid too, but still half a second off of Nordstrom. Got a certified alien in here.
It's time to just dropping. Surprised to see Dominic sitting on 8th. He did the coaching session for us this week, and he's been pretty quick.
And it looks like this is going to be the lap Sanchez shows what he can actually do. Up a whole half a second right now. Less than a minute left to go on the lap. If he brings it home like this, he's going to be about P6-ish. Right up there with his teammate. And right now,
6/10 up now.
yeah, he's the
7/10.
He's the highest, biggest gainer right now in this current lap. Thicker too, actually, back in P22.
Also surprising to see Bradley Busick down on 21st. He's usually quite rapid. But I guess Snetterton is not necessarily the most popular track.
True,
around
true.
here.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't know this track existed until I checked the schedule on Saturday at qualifying for F1, and I was like, oh, apparently I should probably learn this track before we commentate on it. Tuesday.
You did
It's a pretty
more
fun
prep
track,
than
though.
me.
That hairpin is so difficult to get right. I think you can easily gain half a second by trail braking properly.
Yeah, this should just be called the track of trail braking, because you're doing that a lot more than any other track that we've raced this season.
Probably explains why I'm so inconsistent around here. My trail braking is so bad.
Yeah, we need to pick up a Fantech sponsorship for next season so we can all have the nice pedals below, because I'm ready to upgrade my Logitechs.
True, Fanatec, reach out to us.
Yeah, if you're listening.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can work something out.
Yeah, we got a GoFundMe only for direct drive only. Man, Nordstrom's still on P1.
And it's not even close.
Not even, I mean, 5/10 is
He's gonna get bored. He's gonna find a new league. It's embarrassing.
our boy Dougie up in P3. Looks like he didn't sandbag us all that long.
I told you he would show off.
Oh, Duran with a nice lap.
My boy Tyler back in P9. Hopefully his pitch strategy's a little bit smarter. Get some time. Definitely a weird pit lane here.
Nice and short.
Stefiak, 7/10 up, about to finish his final lap. 7/10's gonna shoot him up way up the order, up to P9. Easy top 10.
So a fun fact, the P2 currently has 20 kilograms of ballast from last race, and P3, Doug, has 10 kilograms of ballast from last week for finishing second and third respectively.
Wow, and the newcomer Tyler Nordstrom just strolls in, no weight, no
Ballastless.
no nothing, and blows everyone out of the water. Are we sure that's just not someone else racing under a different name?
It's simply
Is
not
that
fair.
Lehman?
It's just not fair.
Yeah, maybe if Colin or Doug didn't have the weight, they could challenge mode it more, but we shall see. It's an hour-long race, so you got to take care of your tires. We'll see who comes out on top at the end. So your top qualifiers are in P1, Travis Nordstrom, P2, Colin Madiak, P3, Douglas Mitchell, P4, Dominic Duran, P5, Samuel Zuniga, P6, Taylor Carter, P7, Matt Schmidt, P8, I believe that's Kamal Hajtijevic, P9 Chris Stefyuk, and P10 Tyler James.
And for anybody just tuning in, I'll take another look at the current driver standings. P1 is Matt Lehman with 427 points, followed closely by Tyler James for P2, and then Michael Menning in P3, and then followed pretty closely behind by familiar faces and familiar names. But those are our top three.
So minus the Lexuses in the top 10, it is an entirely German top 10, which does not surprise me in this
Das
game.
Auto.
Das Auto. Rating at the Snettertons, yes.
Yeah.
Travis Nordstrom.
Last week, the race start was very clean for the Pro Division. We'll see if the streak continues.
Give us something to talk about, boys. Someone get a little loose.
Oh, Jess going for the fly through. The game is quite gorgeous.
Oh, I love the number on that white Porsche.
It's
just
classic.
like handwritten.
All right, and there goes the formation lap.
On board with our newcomer, Travis Nordstrom. Pretty clean livery, too. Just showing up. A1. Welcome, Travis.
Yeah, showing up day one with a livery and going fast? Dang.
Probably works for Snetterton. He's just trying to give it some exposure. Got the rally lights on the front. Yeah, I think that increasing kind of offhander, or off-cam return, where you got a trail break in, I definitely think we're going to see some fireworks there a couple times. I know for the amateur, for those of you tuning in now, it's absolutely going to be a hoot tomorrow night. So if you guys think this is too clean and you want to get a couple more laps, there's definitely some good stuff to be watched tomorrow.
Oh yeah, everybody knows the real entertainment. It's the amateur races.
Exactly. They don't call us amateurs for nothing. But people like myself, no shame there. I'm learning. But Dahi and Jess are both top-notch racers and always keep it clean for the most part.
Oh, thanks. But be sure to tune in to see me on the track for probably the last time that'll be on the championship podium, because people have been closing the gap fast, and I think tomorrow's the day.
Ah. Also, Doug, if you're rewatching this tomorrow to see what the stream was like, shout out to the Pegasus on the front of your car, shouting out the UCF gang. There's quite a few of our UCF alumni that are in this field, but just noticed that earlier today, and well done. Go Knights.
Just why don't you go ahead and plug our Discord? Looks like there's a viewer who likes the idea of a North American league.
Oh yeah. So well, I don't know how I do that other than I mean the link's on the upper right under our logo on the stream, and if Doug set everything up right, there should be a link in the description. But yeah, I've signed up there, and we have all sorts of resources and guides that'll get you set up, all your questions answered quickly, and ready to start competing real quick. People show up like an hour before the race, and we get them ready to go.
Yes, and if you tune in and you're lucky caller number 5, you will get a free subscription to this stream, which is already free. So, welcome.
All right, looks like they're doubling up for the end of the formation lap, approaching the start-finish line. the game really looks gorgeous in the dark. Although it
Love
is
it.
not great for actually driving in the dark.
Green light. Go, go, go.
And here we go.
Here we go.
Nordstrom gets a decent start. A little bit of
Yeah,
squeezing.
approaching turn 1.
Super
Pack
clean
screens up.
start.
Oh, one.
Oh,
Oh.
off track.
Someone's cutting the grass. Couple
Oh.
people cutting the grass. Looks like we had a little bit of a wreck back there.
Yeah, a little bit of off track, but nothing major crashes yet.
Yeah, lots of people going side by side, making it through. Looks like, Fickard, Allen, Reynolds losing out there.
Yeah, lots of shuffling of orders, but no big crashes. Again, keeping it very clean.
Well, Tyler James loses 11 positions there. Rough for him.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's-
like Kyle was mentioning, it's an oversized karting track. There's not a lot of room for even driving alone.
Yeah, it just feels like the game got scaled improperly for these cars, and you're breaking at random points. But hopefully Tyler can make up some ground. He's back in P21, so man, I'm pulling for you, Tyler. Come on.
So far, very, very close racing. There's only, like, every single cars are within a second of each other right now.
Yep. Though
See,
P1 and P2 are pulling a little bit of a gap.
Yeah, we got Verstappen and Leclerc, and P1 and 2 pulling away from the rest of the pack, but hopefully they reel them in. As per usual. Not even basically a lap it.
Taylor Carter all over Matt Schwartz right now.
Those guys used to be, no, I thought they used to be teammates. Max Sanchez, oh, I forgot the first lap, everyone has the purple marker setting the faster lap.
Yep.
Nordstrom pulling away with a second league.
Some off tracks in the back of the grid.
Well, Marison's
And
now
bumper
to
to
J1.
bumper.
Yeah, it's nose to tail from P3 all the way back to P16.
Mr. Wong, who is another newcomer in the to the league, actually has a purple lap right now.
He got the move done on
never mind.
Marison, is fending him off right now.
It's the first lap, so it actually doesn't matter too much for purple.
Let's keep an eye back on Duran on Mitchell fighting for P3.
Yeah, the deltas are so close. Oh, the teammate comes in contact. Oh, not teammates, but
Yeah, who are we
Cars are
watching right
so
now?
close.
The picture-in-picture?
right now there's Tyler James and Bradley Busick going side by side.
On one of them just won out.
Yeah, looks like Brad went wide a little bit. Tyler James is making up a spot already. Dominic Duran is hot in pursuit of Doug in picture-in-picture. Oh, looks like Matt Morrison is making a move, and he rear ends him.
Oh
Oh,
no,
no.
let's get a look at this.
Mr. Funk got punted.
Mr. Funk got punted.
A
Sorry.
little later on the
so
brakes,
avoiding
gets a
that.
little overlap. Ooh.
Oh.
I think it's
Oh, that's ugly.
well, that's
Get
unfortunate.
the funk out of here. Man, oh man.
That is unfortunate. There was not that much room, so again, not much room on the track to begin with.
Yeah.
But that's unfortunate.
Let's hop back up to Duran, who is just looks like he terminated a lunge right there because he was 2/10 off, and now he's a whole second off. Let's take a look what happened here. Looks like he was sizing up a move. Ooh, yeah, he wanted the inside, but there was a car there. He had to duck out of it. Could have been an accident
Yeah,
right
very
there.
respectful.
Very clean driving.
Looks like Tyler James is closing up another gap to Dustin Fickert.
Yeah, he lost 11 positions off the start. So far, he's clawed back 2 of those.
Peter Reynolds is very close behind Curtis Lee. Oh, he thought about sending it. Looks like the leader, Travis Nordstrom, is starting to pull a big gap. He currently has the fastest lap at 1:47.9. Oh, again, my apologies, but I haven't been able to solve the Git full issue, so I don't have the correct liveries for some of the cars. So sorry for the confusion. Oh, it looks like Dustin Fickert lost the car. He's losing a couple of places right now. And looks like Curtis Lee and
Oh, Reynolds had a moment.
Peter
Let's see what
had a
happened here.
moment.
Oh, just missed it, but it looks like he spun somebody else around. Took a while getting back on track too. That's very unfortunate. That put him right at the back of the grid.
I guess he might have been making sure Curtis got going again first. I didn't
Losing
see
the rear end
Dennis.
again. His tires are probably cooked.
That is unfortunate. Looks like Samuel Suniga is getting very close to Dominic Duran.
Yeah, this part of the pack is just tightening up again. Look at all these cars. Oh, looks like we had an off-track. Chris Stefiak having a bit of a moment. Let's show. Ooh, and it looks like a
careful on the
risky rejoin we're gonna see. So yeah, he loses the rear end and just has to take a detour. How? Oh, looks like Wong's falling back now. Did he fall victim to Chris? No, he just had a moment himself. Tires too far
That is
over the curb.
unfortunate to see.
Too much rotation. I don't have much experience in the Audi, so I don't know how bad it is in that aspect. But I know most cars you can't take that much curb. Oh, and Suniga's having a moment, losing out to Matt Sanchez. If it calms down, I'm gonna want to rewatch this. Yeah, let's look.
A fun fact: Wong is actually driving the old
Stout breaks
LD,
himself.
Oh,
and a yellow for Dustin just now. Looks
For
like
which
seven.
driver?
Dustin is going back to the pits. I don't know what happened.
oh, Fickert.
Yes.
Ooh, nearly contact behind Suniga. Kajtezovic nearly touching Carter there.
There's shuffling all over the place, but looks like many of them are from just going off track.
Yeah, I hopped on board Maris because I just saw him lose position, but nobody's around him. I don't know what happened.
So one of the most difficult aspects of driving in Snetterton is actually the fact that many of the braking markers are not permanent. As the race goes on, as people go off track, many of them will be taken out and the race gets harder and harder, especially in the dark.
Oh yeah, and especially in the amateur races.
I was gonna say, I think
Kajtezovic
lap one,
almost going side by side with Carter.
breaking point removal is the amateur race, so you just got to look for that spot on the guardrail is to, you know, hit your mark, but it makes it 10 times harder at night, so it's gonna be really interesting. Got Tyler Nordstrom pulling away with a 2-second lead so far. 5 laps in, not bad. Kajtezovic going up on Carter. Carter does not like people jumping up the inside, and he'll close the door, so we'll see how that goes.
Looks like Russell Allen just lost his place too. Not sure what happened. Oh, there was some lag that I saw in the picture-in-picture.
Would you mind putting the second camera on Robinson and Steffiak? They're swapping positions right now.
Yep, I'll do so. Oh,
Somebody's going side by side. Oh, is that Suniga in shorts?
looks like it.
I'm
They're
gonna go
very
on
close
board with
delta right
Suniga.
now.
This is the fight for P5. And really, they're all fighting for P3.
It's a very close train for just outside the podium.
You have to be so patient on the throttle.
Yeah, it's such a weird turn. You just gotta pace yourself.
Alright, we get some better exit here.
See those Porsche brakes go to work.
Oh, Carter is reeling them in though.
That boy Taylor.
Look at this
So-
pack.
Not, it's a great
Yeah,
race.
from
None of these are lap
P3
cars.
to
This is all for position.
P8,
You can tell
Doug
me
is
racing
leading the
yet.
train.
None of these are back markers.
Oh, and Dominic Duran goes side by side. A bit of a touch
Looks
on
like
the
he
door.
gets it on the outside.
Douglas Mitchell is very well known for making that BMW 10-foot wide.
But he's got to go defensive now. He's got 3 cars knocking on his door, right behind him.
He's leading the train.
And to say he was having an off day.
Yeah, I told you he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be just fine.
Yeah. P3 putting down a
Oh,
148.
we got a
Gotta
Lexus
dive.
going on the inside. Tip to tail.
Well done, guys.
Nearly contact in the back of the pack there.
Oh, looks like Fickert went off.
I think Ficker,
He's in the pits.
he retired from the race a couple of laps ago, I think.
Oh,
Unfortunate.
then the map on the right-hand side's a little behind. Showed him still going around.
Let's
Yeah,
check
it's
out
good.
Carter.
Looking
up the inside of this Porsche. Touches his door.
Contact.
Oh, yellow flag for Trav Robinson.
Oh, we're keeping the. Sorry. Oh well. I don't want to take the camera off this fight here.
There's definitely going to be some charge back for sure.
Kajtezovic wants to make it around the outside, but it's just too long. That ends up losing his position to Matt Sanchez. Now they're going to go side by side. Oh, and he tucks in behind. Yeah, that's the risk of going for a move that you're not quite sure you'll be able to actually get the job done. You're under threat immediately behind. Suniga carrying a ton of speed through that corner. Trying to reel in Carter. Almost flung himself off the track there. Well, let's hop up ahead with Schwartz. Looking around the outside of Duran. Not quite going to make it work. But applying pressure.
The picture-in-picture is on the wing of Douglas Mitchell's cart. You can see both Duran and Matt just trying to grab that position.
Going after these guys, so we have another pack led by Taylor Carter. 4, 5 cars behind him, all within a second.
in the
It
back of the pack,
to run. Ooh.
Oh, into the
Side
door of
by
the
side.
Porsche.
Giving him a little massage through the turn.
Just
Let's
a little
see.
rubbing. Try. How's the outside gonna work for him?
Man.
Not quite.
Oh, he sets him up. Let's see if he can make something up. Nope. And that Porsche is fast off the turns.
It doesn't have the best top speed. It's got decent acceleration and it rotates so fast. You get to open up that throttle so early.
Like racing a gnat. It's
Yep,
insane.
yep. Just buzzes too. Oh, Wong getting into something. Looks like he almost did a pirouette there. He gets
That's
back
a
on the
long
track.
way,
Let's see what
man.
happened here. Ooh, too much curb.
Oh.
Rear end's gone. That'll happen. Oh, did he retire?
Music back. Oh.
Oh, no. No, it's fine.
Speaking of
and
retirement,
Alan having a moment. Oh, he was having such a good charge, too. What happened here?
Curbing.
Oh, I don't even think it was a curbing. I think it was just the dip. The change in elevation. It goes low and then high real fast, and then it rebounds again. He just totally lost grip on his tire. I don't think it like over-rotated him. He just like lost it. Just to bounce. That's so unfortunate. He's having such a good recovery too. But back for the fight for P4. Durant holding off Schwartz and Carr. Holding off Suniga, holding off Schwartz, holding off Kai Tejovic, holding off Kip.
it is a incredibly tight train going on for almost, how many laps is that? 9 laps.
Like 42 minutes into this. Or 42 minutes remaining.
With the pit window opening in just about 7 minutes, I wonder how many will opt to pit early so that they can get some clean air.
That's a good point. Oh, before I expound on that, Chris Lee having a moment.
And the
Little,
R8
Bowen.
are just having a handful tonight.
Let's see what happened here.
Over-rotated.
Oh, yeah. He just drift moment. It wasn't even the track or the curb. He just too much throttle. When as that's happening, Busick and lost out to Wong, I think. Oh, and it looks like yeah, Lee's retiring. Is he? No. My HUD's just going all wonky.
Yeah, it's telling me that Brad is now in the pits.
Oh yeah.
Nordstrom's pulled a comfortable 4-second gap on P2.
Himself has a 6-second gap on P3, so their races, if they hold it together, just gonna be a stroll, bringing it home. But these guys, everybody's fighting for their lives for P3.
Pipes glowing.
Oh, but what I was gonna say was, that's a good point, Dahi. I usually deride the early pit stop strategy, because usually other people just do that and enable me to go long and have open air, and they usually come out in traffic. But here, because the pack is so tight at front and not behind, it actually really would make sense to get that pit stop done, come out in the pocket behind, let everybody else tear up their tires and hold each other up. And then when they pit, you go sailing by. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I just say that Duran is reeling in P3. He's shaking off Schwartz and is hunting Mitchell.
Yeah, because Dominic has to defend fiercely, he hasn't been able to catch up to. I guess he really wants to get past Doug.
Yep.
And start chasing Colin, but it just is not happening because he has to both attack and defend every turn. So yeah, looks like Bradley Busick retired along with Travis Robinson. So unfortunate, but a couple of retirees from the Snetterton race. Looks like there's some shout out for Moffat and Kajtejevic and Funk. Mr. Funk, who had an unfortunate start, is sticking around in P17. And Chris Moses is here in the chat. He wasn't able to join us today again, but
Hey,
he's
Chris.
here to cheer on his teammate, Bradley Burns, who just gained a position.
Oh, still fighting for it. We just missed it. Let's see what happens. Oh, looks like Wong went a bit deep there. Or no? That's just a good scrap there. Very respectful to each other. Not elbows not too far out. Not forcing anybody off track. But oh no! Disaster! Disaster!
Oh no, what's
Disaster!
happening?
It just keeps
What's
getting worse.
my
It
God.
keeps getting worse.
Oh, Taylor's about to retire.
What just happened?
Oh no, so it looks like Taylor Carter got spun around or spun somebody. We just barely caught it. He ends up perpendicular on the track right as the mid-pack.
He's
dense
definitely
as
got
they
some
are.
damage.
Oh yeah, look at his rear end's getting squirrely right there for no reason. Yeah, he can barely control his car.
The pit
I
window's
wonder
about
what
to
started
open.
that carnage.
We'd have to go back a full minute to see it, and then watch the full minute back up to here to see the whole thing. But I think we surmised what happened.
Yeah, there's so much action going on still.
Yeah, too much. So yeah, he definitely has to come in and fix that. So let's go back for everybody who stayed out and managed to navigate that absolute carnage. Anybody who
Yeah, quite unfortunate
held
too,
up
because
was
the
very
pit
lucky.
window. Yeah,
Oh.
the pit window opens in just 2.5 minutes, so sad that they have to go in and fix their damage.
Oh, and then
Yeah, that's way wide.
Might
Got
be
Taylor, teammate, falling in 5th.
let's hop back with Duran on Mitchell. Still Mitchell holding off from P3 with an angry Porsche all over him. He's no longer distracted by Sanchez because I think maybe because of the carnage we just saw, it's fallen back to almost 3 seconds behind Duran. So Duran is free to attack. Oh, and that he does. He's looking all over the inside of Mitchell, hoping for a mistake.
being very patient.
Taking it up the tailpipe from Duran, man oh man.
Yeah, he's applying pressure, but he is being patient. He's not forcing anything.
Doug is a hard egg to crack.
Yeah, he will stay focused. He might not even be noticing Duran. But let's hop back with a driver we had a previous shout out for, Moffat, who is reeled in Kajtejevic. Less than half a second between them.
Oh, and yeah, teammate on teammate battle. Oh, a little squirrely there.
Oh, good save.
Oh, you know his heart just skipped a beat. And that allows Chris Stefiak to dive up his inside.
Yeah,
Easily
very
done.
Chris is like, thank you very much.
That's all he needed.
I'll take that.
These cars look so good. Let's go back to Duran and Mitchell, though. Great fight between these two. Oh, he's giving them flasher.
I
He's giving them
can
the
see him
flashes.
flashing away.
Did we?
The David Taflovich flashing of the lights.
I feel really bad because I actually used the flashers of Doom, and it worked last week. I feel kind of bad.
Nice. Pit windows open. Looks like Carter's back in 20th.
Yeah, he's gonna have to pit again, unfortunately. Yeah,
See
with
if he
the
gets
window open, yep, Dominic Duran just dives right in. He's like, I need clean air. Let's see who else is gonna dive into the pits. Chris Stefiak following suit, followed by Justin Moffat.
We've already got a stop-go 30 for Dominic Duran. He must have been speeding into the pit lane.
Oh no, that is a tragedy.
Yeah, that's
He was so eager
that's a
to get some
race
clean
ruiner.
air from Doug. That's so sad to see.
And our current P2, Colin Madiak, having a huge moment. See what
Let's
happened
go
here.
see what happened.
Oh, we've seen this before.
Oh, just loses
same
a car.
corner, but lost in a different way. It's probably the third car we've seen lose it there. But yeah, these curves are brutal.
Didn't lose too much time. Still has a big gap to P3. On the picture-in-picture, Moffat and Chris Defiat going at it again after the pits.
Oh,
and he goes wide.
right up the inside. Easy peasy.
Oh, it looks like Curtis Lee had a moment. He
Yes, sir.
got out of the track.
Spun around. What happened here? Oh, what? Oh, it's a big moment. Oh, no. So he had a moment, and then he's doing donuts in the grass because he has no traction. That is a race ruiner. Let's go back on board with Kajtezovic, who just looks like he swapped places with Morrison.
Looks like it, and looks like Dominic exited the pits after the penalty and is he hasn't served a penalty yet. Sorry.
Correct. He just
He
served
did
his
get
pit
a
stop.
position.
So
Oh,
he's
Russell is backwards on the track.
that's not good. And he's stationary. What happened here?
I am not too sure.
Oh, lost the front. Oh, and that's got to be gut-wrenching backwards. Oh no, facing on the cars coming ahead of you.
And we just had another group of cars dumping into the pits.
So we just now got back on track. That's a lap ruiner at the very least. Let's hop back on board with Sanchez, still on Mitchell, still fighting for P3.
Yeah, Doug keeping that BMW 10 foot wide.
It'll be really interesting to see where the guys who pit come out relative to these guys after they do, because that's where the advantage would come. If these guys are fighting too hard and holding each other up, they're gonna notice, wait a minute, when did I become P6? When did that happen?
It's interesting too with Nordstrom in P1. He's new to the league, and I'm wondering if he knows that he has to pit.
Nobody tell him. You see this man? Nobody tell him.
I mean, he could miss the pit window, get docked, and probably still make up time. No, you just get a time penalty if you don't pit.
Correct.
Might be okay.
Sanchez goes to the pits, Mitchell staying out. Having to hold off Saniga. Can somebody tell me how he got his car number to be drawn in like crayon?
I don't know, but I want that. Looks awesome.
So as drivers are going to the pits, the herd's kind of thinning out. All these gaps now are jumping to more than a second. I'm trying to look for a fight. Here, we found one. Schwartz on Moffitt for P10. Ooh! Close one, mate. Close one. Let's see that one more time from the sky.
Almost just
Way later on the brakes.
back.
He wisely doesn't go for the corner though, so he doesn't spin Moffitt around. Kajtesevich goes into the pits. Duran and Reynolds staying out.
Oh, sorry, I had to take a leap and I'm back.
Oh, and Schwartz right up the inside of Moffitt. Moffitt outbraking himself, going a little wide there, leaving the door wide open. I think that's the second time we've seen that move there this race.
The pit is open for another 3.5 minutes. Hopefully, our race leader knows to pit and knows the.
Top five all have not pitted yet.
Yeah, Colin Madiak just pitted, I think. So that's our P2 doing so.
So he came out right. He came out in 6.
I guess that's a pretty short pit for this this track. I would imagine he would stay way ahead of Douglas Mitchell whenever he actually pits. As usual, after the pits, the delta is spread out considerably. Looks like Justin Moffat is the one with the closest delta at the moment, along with Samuel Suniga on Douglas Mitchell. So the practice race last night was just 30 minutes, but even then I was starting to feel the tires a bit loose.
Yeah, you're gonna have to tell me about it. I wasn't there for it. Nordstrom, somebody did tell him he needs to pit because he just did. Damn. I mean, yeah. Sneega and Mitchell still staying out. It's Doug Mitchell currently P1.
Yeah, at least to me, it felt like because of a lot of the fast corners where you have to lean on the outside tires, the tires falling off felt pretty significant. Again, probably not worth doing a tire change, but still makes it more challenging for sure the later half of the race. Looks like Dominic, after serving his stop-go 30 penalty, is now in P15. What a tragedy.
Yep.
That also tells you how close the grid is, because stop-go 30 in amateur might only drop you a couple of places, but in the pros, it's more than 10 positions.
Yep. And just how close it is, so after these pit stops were served, we have Chris Steffiak, who's less than a second behind Tyler James. But Chris Steffiak spent 4 seconds longer in the pit than Tyler James did, so he would be fighting for that position if he nailed his pit stop. So yeah, just little things earn you a position or two in these races. Ooh, oh! And we have a very clumsy pit entry. Suniga following, it looks like, yeah, Mitchell.
Douglas Mitchell, yep.
And Suniga totally misses his braking spot, goes right into the rear of Mitchell. I guess they're lucky they don't have suspension damage. It's just aero damage. We'll see how long they spin in the pits. But yeah, that's both of these two drivers race for P3 heavily compromised.
The window is now closed.
They definitely didn't repair there because that had to be just a splash and dash.
Yeah, hopefully it was just a minor damage. You're typically braking hard when you're entering the pits, so I hope that minimized their damage.
And it looks like just barely they're able to hold on to their P3 and P4 that they had before the pit window opened. But it looks like he's going to lose it immediately to Sanchez, having lost all that time and all that aero performance. He's probably going to fall even further down the field.
Yeah, and what's actually very interesting is that Doug actually ends up with just half a second behind Colin, who was second ahead before the pit window opened.
Yeah, so I guess clearly Doug wasn't too phased by the pressure and was just driving his race.
Yeah, it looks like Colin actually either lost a lot of time on the off track or had a pretty slow pit. But he does seem to have better pace, so let's see if we can pull ahead again. Just looking at the best times for the race leaders, Travis Norriston has a 1:47.75 as his best lap, the purple lap so far. Colin Madiak has a 47.87, and Douglas Mitchell has 48.5 actually. And there's Max and Sam Swiniga both with the 47.9. So
Doug, the section with Douglas Mitchell's going around right now. It's actually called the Bomb Hole Corner, and back in the back in the 1970s, it was renamed Bomb Hole Corner because the dip was so bad, and we've seen so many drivers deal with the pronounced dip this race as well. It just really unsettles the car. But back in the day, it was so bad that they would call it a bum hole of a corner. So it's been renamed to Bomb Hole Corner. But yeah, just a little fun fact for you about Snetterton.
Yeah, every time I'm driving through that part of the corner, I'll remember it. I've got a chuckle out of it.
Say a prayer for Bomb Hole.
So the closest battle on the track is now just for the fight for P2 and P4 actually. The rest of the grid has spread out considerably.
Yeah, more than like an average is like 4 seconds gap between all these cars now.
Yeah, but with one quick off track or a spin, you can easily lose a couple of positions. So, gotta keep your wits about you for the next 22 minutes.
I don't know about y'all, but this is usually the hardest part of the race for me.
Yeah, the tires are going.
Oh, it's not even because of the car, it's just my mental ability to focus and be consistent.
Oh yeah.
True. What are your thoughts on extending the race? We're experimenting with 75-minute race format.
Oh, I think it's great, and I hope we do it, because I think an hour is just too short for these cars and the difference between them to open up any sort of strategy difference. Because we've seen week after week that most, if not all of the cars, all of our drivers just take the splash and dash, and they'll only change if they're forced to by like a brutal accident. And a longer race would make, something different viable. The splash and dash made a little less viable. That's the key part of the equation. So I hope it happens. And I was just saying that kind of thing would make it harder for me, but I would enjoy the challenge.
I think if we went to a longer race format, that would be a ton of fun, but I think that we should bring back the joint grid between pros and AMs and have a team that's one pro and one amateur racing for 75 minutes. I think that'd be pretty rad. And then have more sprint style races for the pros and amateurs separately that are about 30 minutes long.
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Yeah, the driver swap race actually format is that, and I think if once we get more interest in it, we'll try to bring it back. It was definitely a fun experiment in the past for sure.
Hopefully we bring in some GT4 cars personally. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it all
but
depends
mixed
on
class
the interest.
stuff makes so with mixed drivers and mixed classes, it would be so complicated.
Oh yeah, I guess I was just saying GT4 separately.
Once we advertise and grow the league to about a couple hundred people, we should be able to do it.
A couple hundred. Well, I wonder how many active drivers do you think we have right now? Because we regularly have 20, 25 for the pros, and then like I think we've been having somewhere around 30, 25 or 30 for the amateurs.
So, based on the driver rating system, which only shows drivers who race with Plus at least once in the last month, we should have like 60 to 70 drivers.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's great, but you gotta grow up bigger if you want to support more of the niche categories.
Yeah, that's true.
But while we are chattering, looks like the fight for the P3 is on again.
Yep. Samiga is trying to get back in the action there. Just a second behind Sanchez.
I love how many times your tires dip off track and just send a whole plume of smoke out onto the track, and it's just normal. It's one of the only tracks that does that, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely a narrow track. Very hard to avoid. So Samuel Suniga is of course very fast around here, but just seeing how much trouble he has passing just shows how difficult of a track Snetterton is.
Yep. I don't even know what really to blame in specific about the track. I don't have a lot of experience around here. But I can tell the undulations aren't making it any easier.
Yeah, there's definitely not a lot of room to go side by side confidently. And I guess for the Porsche specifically, straights are typically a great spot to try something, but they just don't have the top speed. Oh, looks like Chris and Matt is going side by side.
Yep, Schwartz gets a way better exit. Goes up the inside of Steffi in the next corner. It doesn't even really matter. He tucks it in front, gets in position, job done.
Yeah, and they're teammates too, so they probably don't feel too bad about that.
Yeah, they're not getting in each other's way. They're looking for points. Points. Let's jump back up ahead. This fight for P3 again.
So have you noticed Duck taking defensive lines mostly?
Definitely.
Yeah, so definitely making the job difficult for the ones chasing him.
And the Porsche makes so much better noises than the BMW.
100%.
This is you. This is you.
Oh, that
This is the
sausage
guy
curve
who says not to worry about. I love the way you can just feel the BMW's rear end up ahead, slightly kicking out through that long right-hander.
Oh,
In
yeah.
the corner. There are a lot of corners like that for the BMW in ACC's tracks. They're always so fun.
It's like Carter's closed up, back up to 17th, back from P20, coming up on Tejabit. But it's like he's gonna be a solid midfielder for this race.
Right, with 14 seconds, it's going to be difficult to make another position up at the end of the race.
Dehi, could you run us through the changes in positions from the start now for each driver? Or at least the highlights?
Yeah, I can do that. Looks like Max Sanchez is up 8 positions, currently in P4, one of the big winners. Evan Kim is up 5 positions. Matt Morrison is up 12 positions. Let's see. I think it's David Funk, but Mr. Funk is up 4 positions. Wong is up 8. So pretty big winners, even though we saw them spin off a couple of times. Peter is up 4 positions. Dominic actually lost out 11 positions. Very unfortunate. Kajtejevic down 9 positions, and Taylor down 12 positions. Very unfortunate. I really didn't see what happened on the big wreck in the middle of the race, but it's very unfortunate to see.
Yeah, my memory could be wrong. It could have been mistaken when I saw it, because I brought the camera to it right as one of the cars was going sideways. But I think the car that went sideways was Carter. And yeah, him being there was not ideal, and he had nowhere to go. That like he couldn't have figured out what to do. So, and there was a whole pack of cars coming up behind him. But I think he got spun around by somebody going up his inside on a hairpin. Just a little bump on the rear quarter panel will do that. But we came in right at the last second, so I'm not quite sure what happened.
Yeah, very unfortunate. And one more driver to highlight is actually Curtis Lee. He's up 4 positions. I think he started on 23rd. It just goes to show just staying alive can net you many positions. Definitely.
Yeah, and each position of that was earned against faster drivers, because nobody was sandbagging on qualifying. I'll tell you that.
Well, speaking of Mr. Funk, he's very close up on Justin Moffat. Oh, but goes off track a tiny bit.
Keeps it together though, that heavily compromises exit.
But
man, his brakes are working overtime for a Ferrari. You see this? It's matching the brakes of the BMW.
Yeah, BMW has some crazy brakes. I think only Mercedes really has a brake that's comparable.
I'd say the Porsche.
Oh yeah, and Porsche, the rear engine, of course. Oh, and Max, very close to Doug.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Oh, so close you can see the Sith Racing Alliance logo on him.
One of the newcomers racing the founding fathers of SRA.
Well, call Sanchez a newcomer anymore. I think he's been here since the start of season 2, right?
He came in last season.
Yeah, okay, so he's been around,
Yeah, he actually raced most of the races with us.
Doug getting a little slidey there.
But he's new in the pro.
Just in time.
Yeah. Ooh, defense.
Doug not giving him enough room. Oh, but he does. Doug goes a little wider. Oh, tries to come back across. Let's see this one more time from the air. So Doug goes defensive. He thinks he's got it covered off. Goes a little wide and then tries to come back on the racing line, straight to a very eager Sanchez, who's like, "No thanks, the racing line's mine now." That fits Doug right into the maw of Saniga and Kim.
That was pretty significant overlap.
Cars everywhere right now. All this fight for P3 right now. With almost just barely over 10 minutes to go.
Getting all the curve there.
Doug trying to get that position right back. Staying very close. Yeah, but of course, he's giving the flasher. He wants the position back. But of course, all those judgments will be carried out by the stewards. We won't be passing out any verdicts on air.
And with that disclaimer out of the way, now I can say whatever I feel.
Dahi, you're like OSHA.
Ooh, Funk looking to get the move done on Moffat. Looks like he just backed out of the move a moment ago, but trying to get it done. Let's hop back for this fight for P3 though.
Yeah, I'll try to keep the picture-in-picture on the back of the grid fights. Oh, Funk goes off track a tiny bit again. But yeah, many of the drivers pulled up the gap that showed up after the pit. There's multiple battles going up and down the grid right now. Matt Shorts is attacking Tyler James. And Kai Tijovic is actually very close to Peter Reynolds as well. Chris Moses in the chat is also throwing in his non-steered opinion on Racing Incident.
Perfect, perfect. Looks like Orson having a moment. He gets yellow flagged. Not losing position, so I'm not sure what for. Might have just had a minor excursion.
Yeah, just going off track too much can give you a yellow flag for sure. As an AM driver,
getting really bumpy there. Almost going off, going a little wide, and almost going off track from the loss of grip. Sorry, you were saying?
Oh, nothing important, but as an AM driver, I'm definitely less accomplished in defending as well as these guys. Something I need to learn. Matt Schwartz was getting very close to Tyler James in the picture-in-picture just now. Oh, and
Kid looking up the inside of Suniga for P5.
Oh, and he makes the move. Oh, it doesn't keep the...
Still looking for it, though.
Oh. Mr. Funk actually seems to have went off track. Taking a look on the picture-in-picture right now. Oh, it looks like he just went
lost
off track.
track of where he was. Once your wheels get off, it's very hard to correct it, because to get back on track, you got to put weight on the tires that are off track.
It is very hard to steer at all on the grass for sure. Alright, picture-in-picture is on Kai Tijovic now.
I'll be staying on. Oh, Colin Madiak getting yellow flagged, going off track for a moment. Looks like he didn't lose out too hard for it, because he does have a car, but he is followed closely by Matt Sanchez. Both of them flying past the blue flag.
Mass can smell P2.
Oh, and Colin's all over the place. Loses the rear end. That invites Sanchez to charge right up the inside. And as that's happened, there's so much going on. Suniga loses position to Kim, and Maris is out to Durant. But let's hop back to Colin Madiak.
Looked like there was a contact between, I think, a back marker and Suniga. That's how the place was lost.
Oh, that's a no-no.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah, but it's still very unfortunate for Colin Madiak, who had a commanding gap for P2. Makes one little mistake, puts him in striking distance, invites another mistake, invites losing position, and that puts him right back into the flames.
Into the sights of Doug, who wants the podium position back. And Kai Tijovic is right on Peter again. Just 5 more minutes to go. The tires are probably feeling a little loose for almost everybody, even after taking care of them.
Yep.
Alright,
I'm
gonna stay on P3 as well.
Look at how cold it is. Is this the coldest race we've had all season? It might be.
I believe so, yeah.
It was pretty close, I think, in Kyalami. And the race start is, I think, at 18 degrees, so it didn't drop too much.
Oh, okay. So no huge curveballs. Okay. 'Cause, I was wondering if that might have caused some havoc for people's tire strategies. Pressures.
Yeah, there's definitely a big change between qualifying and the race, so keep that in mind for the pressures tomorrow. Mr. Funk and Mofat going at it again, very close. But yeah, let's see if Colin can hold off the podium position for the next maybe 3 laps.
I'm not sure he's going to be able to do it because I think his incident that we caught that caused him to lose out position. I think it smells of tire wear to me, and then going off made it worse. And then he fishtailed and like it was like repeated like the tires were giving. It's like what it looks like to me. So I think if Mitchell applies some pressure, like P3 is within reach.
It is within reach. We'll see what happens.
Like Colin just has to make one more mistake.
Yeah, if these positions hold, obviously Nordstrom being new to the league here, but we got Sanchez and Madiak, which are both sitting at P7 and P14 in the overall standing. This is definitely going to help them bump up towards the end of the season and next week.
For sure. Yeah, it's quite sad that one of the fastest drivers are not joining tonight to give Nordstrom a run for his money.
Very.
Yeah.
So Matt Lehman and I think Michael Manning both were able to make this race. And looks like in the picture-in-picture, Mr. Funk was almost going side by side with Mofat.
Yeah, he's been keeping that gap very tight.
Yeah, the fight for P11, as it were.
Colin Madiak almost getting the inside of Sanchez.
It's a flash.
He's getting very impatient now. Not unjustifiably so with only 2.5 minutes to go.
He wants the P2 back. Yeah, it looks like Mitchell has fallen back a little bit, so
yeah,
maybe
he lost
no chance
some
of
pace
overtake.
last lap. Last lap he did a 149.5. Before that he was doing a 48.8. So yeah, I'm not sure why he's fallen back. No longer applying any pressure to Madiak, freeing him up to secure that P2 again.
A few more laps to go. Let's see if Colin can make a move. Oh, and Curtis had a yellow flag. Might be just an off track. And Funk is very close to Mofat again, literally bumper to bumper. Yeah, but just not a lot of room to make the move.
And the leader's now on the final lap, so this race is about to come to its conclusion.
He is basically a sector ahead of everybody.
Oh, can you put the camera on Morrison, who's yellow flagged at P7?
Yeah, I'm taking a quick replay on him. Looks like he was by himself. Oh, he just lost the car over the curb. And looks like Funk and Mofat is going side by side right now. Oh, he did make the move. Let's see what happened. Okay, I missed the action.
Oh, Colin Madiak trying to get P2. Ends up going off track. Unfortunately not colliding with anybody, but rejoins in P5. Let's take a look at that again from this point of view. Oh, and I missed it. Too late. But it looks like he had to bail from the corner because he was going to run into the car in front, or just played out, braked himself, and ran off.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate.
Okay.
He was racing so well too.
Yes, he was. Put on a good show for P2. It's Schwartz. What's the second gap on Tyler James? Oh,
Yeah, actually, a lot of
Almost-
gaps closing real quick.
almost losing it there. Pushing a little hard. It's not gonna help.
And the leader is approaching the final finish line, and there he goes.
Making it look easy.
For sure.
P1 qualifying, P1
Fastest
race.
lap.
Every lap.
It's too much. We gotta get him in here and make him explain himself.
Yeah.
So I'm already getting mistakes between Cullen and Sadiga. Looks like we're not gonna see any more swapping positions here. Yep. And that's gonna be our standings for this race. Pretty exciting one, if I do say so. Lots happening.
Yeah, very
Like,
much so.
usually I'm able to catch everything. Like, that's to my own horn, but like, I catch everything. But there was like 3 things happening all at once at times here. It was craziness.
Yeah, a lot of action for sure. So P2 is Max Sanchez and P3 Douglas Mitchell. Congratulations. Let's try to see if we can get everybody for an interview.
Yeah, Quinny, I'll drag him in here. Hopefully they're corralling themselves into the waiting room.
Yeah, I have Travis Nordson, so I'm gonna bring it up now. Hello, Travis. Congratulations on the win.
Yeah, thank you. It was a good race. Made a couple mistakes at the beginning, but other than that, it was
Pretty
like
smooth
almost
sailing, huh? Making it look easy. Yeah, how dare you?
Got the newcomer.
How dare you?
I'm sorry. I don't think this is my true pace. I did have COVID last week, and I had a lot of free time. You know, every time I didn't have anything to do, I would just get in and do a couple laps. So I think this is not my true pace. I think I'm a little bit slower than that normally.
Okay, okay. Well, I hope so,
Well-
because you're embarrassing us here.
Yeah.
Showing up a
Well
little too
done.
prepared.
Welcome
Relax.
to SRA, man.
Well, welcome to SRA. We're glad to have you.
Yeah,
Maybe
definitely.
I think a couple of the fastest guys were not able to join, but
Okay.
we would love to see you go against them and to put on a good show for us next time.
Yeah, you will very likely have a lot more competition then.
Okay. I'll try and be ready.
All right, that's great to
Sounds
hear.
good.
Well, congratulations again.
Thank you guys.
All right, let's bring up Max Sanchez.
Max Sanchez, P2, my
Hey,
friend. Well
Congratulations.
done.
What a
Congratulations.
charge.
Dude,
What a
that was
drive.
fucking intense.
We caught most of it.
That was pretty intense. It was. You have to be really focused on this track, especially at night. Oh god, it's
How are
bad.
the brake
But
markers? Were they all there at the end?
they were actually all there, yeah. Except for one, which is not very important. I don't know which one it is to be honest, but it was most of the brake markers were there.
Oh, I wish we could say the same after tomorrow night, but that's good to hear.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I can't
Go
wait to
on
see the race
with the wait.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
I saw that Doug was putting up quite a bit of a wide BMW.
Oh, dude, yes. And then I think I don't know if that's I don't know. I guess the hairpin after turn 1. I was like, I'm going in, and
Oh
then he
yeah,
kind of
we
closed
did
the
catch
door. You
actually.
guys got that? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know
we
if that
caught a
was
lot
on
of
me
that
or
fight.
not.
I think you held your line well, but that's not our call at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. It was fun though. Pretty fun.
Yeah.
Well done,
Very
Max.
nice drive.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, congrats.
Thanks, man.
See you
All right.
next week.
Yep.
And we'll bring up P3.
Oh, good. Colin's in the waiting room because I want to get. We definitely want to interview him too.
The Ministry of Defense, Mr. Douglas Mitchell.
Congratulations.
Doug, what a great drive. I told you it was going to be fine.
I don't know where my qualifying lap came from. Literally my personal best by like 4/10. So
Wow.
first and foremost, started that off really, really on a good note. And then to your point, my office hours for defense classes will be open. I'm taking applications. That felt good. But
Waiting on a train for
did you guys? Oh,
the entire
I was
race.
the conductor. I was chugging along, but I did not belong at the front. But I was having a hoot up front there with the guys, and Duran was giving me an honest battle, and then he collected a 30-second stop and go, so it was tough to see.
Yeah.
But man, did you guys catch what happened to me on the pit entry?
Yes,
yeah.
we did. Suniga going into your rear end. Yes, we did.
You guys should have felt the car afterwards. My rear downforce was non-existent. I was hurting.
Yeah, we kind of
Yes.
figured.
Yeah, I was sliding all over the place, and that's what brought Max into the equation. And then I thought I closed the door, and he was like, "Nah, man, FBI, open up!" And he just kicked it down. So kudos to him getting past me, and then obviously Colin having his little off, which got me back on the podium. So
Yeah.
it was
Very
exciting
fortunate for him there.
If you don't have a livery that is sandbag themed for next season, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Hey, I'm telling you, bro. I don't know where that came from, but I literally was talking to Tim. I was like, I pulled that right out. I don't know what crevice I found that time in, but as I was crossing the line, I looked up and it was like 9/10 better, and I was like, what in the world? So I just sent it, and it just worked.
Well done.
Yeah, I'm sure
Thanks,
we're gonna hear the
boys.
same thing next week. Congrats. See ya.
Congratulations.
You were gonna say something.
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm actually a really big fan of Spain, so that's the week where I'm gonna be super hyped and super confident. I'm just gonna it's gonna be a train wreck. So you wait.
all right, all
Grab your
right.
popcorn. Grab your
Very
popcorn.
well. See you then.
Thanks, boys.
Looks like Colin may have hopped off.
Oh, but is he in general? Can we find him? Oh,
No.
is he gone? Colin.
I think he
Colin.
might have might not be up in the mood for that.
Oh, understandable. He might be a bit heated.
All right, well, I guess that wraps up the stream for us today.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. And be sure to subscribe, hit the bell, and so you can tune in tomorrow, same time for us amateurs going around the track too.
We'll make it spicy for you guys.
All right, well, that was